Starts first down and 10 at their own 10-yard line. And Tevin Coleman with some running room. Tevin Coleman down the sideline. Coleman, one man to beat. Tevin Coleman's going to go 90 yards, and Indiana takes the lead. Randall L. scrambles, started off the pitch, keeps it himself down the sidelines. He could go. Antoine Randall L. touchdown. Rourke going to the single coverage, end zone. Touchdown! He hits Cooper again.
What a win! What a win! What a win! Hello, everyone. This is Hoosier Happy Hour, episode 225, Nebraska recap. I'm here along with Seth. Michael is still in Nevada. Hopefully, he's been very quiet. I'm a little concerned.
He's about to land right now. It's going to change. You'll start getting texts here in about the next probably half an hour.
Well, however this show goes, it will not do it justice. IU just spanks the Cornhuskers 56-7 to move to 7-0, 4-0 in conference, and move up to 13th in the rankings. Seth, I don't think this is a hot take. I have not been an IU football fan for as long as most who listen. I've been an IU football fan for the better part of 12, 13 years. Better part of that. Saturday was the most fun I've ever had at a tailgate. It's the most fun I've ever had at a game. And it was by far the best atmosphere I have seen at a college football game.
While I am so happy for you, I honestly am. I didn't even throw up a little bit when I said that. The pleasure of it coming against Nebraska and Matt the Fool rule was just like the chef's kiss of perfection on top of everything. What you saw showcased on Saturday was the exact issue I've had with Matt Rule for the last 3 years now, or 2.5 years, however long he's been at Nebraska, is it's an undisciplined football team. Even when they're good, they don't really play by the rules. It's just like there was penalties. There were timeouts that were unnecessary. There was poor planning. And then we'll
5 turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible on third down. 0-for-5 on fourth down. You mentioned 6 penalties.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they couldn't have been worse.
I mean, there were times where they would call a timeout, then they'd come back out and then do a false start. And you're just like, that was the play? That's what you called? That's what the
they were overwhelmed. They were 100% overwhelmed.
Yes.
And not ready.
But remember, they were the more battle-toughened team. They were the team that had played closer games. They were the team that had gone out and played people. They went and played those bad dogs out of Colorado. Yeah. Ooh. So I don't know. I felt like it was a crescendo. We talked about the avalanche going into it. And then you could tell pretty early on, I'd say midway through the second quarter, that the avalanche was just relentless. And so this was the perfect cap to the first 7 weeks of the season, was the absolute ass kicking, the demolition of a once great Nebraska team.
Yeah. I mean, Matt Rule told on himself, and I don't even think he understands how dumb he sounded. Did you hear the sound clip? It's all over social media where he just goes, "I didn't see that coming." You had a bye week.
How do you admit that? How?
I gotta admit, I didn't see it coming. Are you kidding me? Because IU didn't do anything that it hasn't done. At least offensively. Defensively, they did switch up some Husky positions and some safety positions.
The revelation that was Terry Jones Jr. Hello.
Right? But I didn't see this coming. it was the same concepts. And on the other side, how well was IU well coached?
Yeah.
The only turnover was an end of half heave, 6 for 11 on 3rd and 4th down, 9 yards a pass, 6.5 yards a run. Just prepared, efficient,
Mm-hmm.
and just executed at such a high level.
And they left points on the board. That's the other thing. It could have been worse.
It could have been worse. It could have been worse. All right, let's progress this thing along. Because again, I think we can just kind of keep saying the same thing about 20 different ways with just how impressive it was. But let's jump to the play of the game, because again, there was plenty of them. Do you have a play that stands out to you?
Yeah, I do. I have two. And this goes to the mental state that the Nebraska Cornhuskers were in. Late in the fourth quarter, one of their defensive players started throwing punches.
Yep.
And then within 2 or 3 plays shortly after that, Matt Rule got an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on himself. Do you know who doesn't get unsportsmanlike penalty calls on the coach? Coaches who aren't getting their asses kicked. Do you know who's not throwing punches? Players who aren't getting their asses kicked. So what I thought in those two plays were a microcosm of just two people who had just gotten their asses kicked all afternoon and needed to vent or outlet it in some way. So those two plays I bookmarked and was like, you're in their head. You have broken these guys. And it's a completely dominant win when you can break the will of another team. So very impressive. And so that's what those stuck in my head. Very interesting plays that you don't typically see in most Big Ten games. Now all of a sudden you got punches thrown and, tantrums being thrown. So.
Yeah, for me was the Sean Ashbury interception. Not only did he play it really well, but Nebraska could have made it a couple score game, and really kind of put the pressure on. Instead, Ashbury almost made a house call, and you made it a 4-possession game. And largely, I think that was one of the many final daggers. But I think the Ashbury interception,
Absolutely.
I think we've seen execution in the run game. We haven't really seen a explosive run from a player not named Kalon Black. Ellison showing burst up the middle. That 31-yard touchdown was impressive. But the thing that I think is going to stay in my head, those were both the second and third, but it was Taven Jackson's pass to Elijah Surratt. Maybe this was the beverages, but I legit thought that was Rourke that made that throw.
Well, he had executed 2 or 3 back shoulder fades to Surratt, where Surratt jumps up, adjusts his body perfectly, brings him down. It was an exact replay in the end zone of that play that he and Rourke had run multiple times during the game.
And I think that's what I hadn't seen out of Taven was decisiveness.
Yep.
It seemed like the game was moving too fast for him, both last season and this season. And plus, it's a little easy to be decisive when you're up 28-7. But again, it's that play that makes me feel comfortable with Taven, at least in the next couple weeks. I don't want to speculate it. I mean, we'll get enough of that in the Washington pod, but I thought Taven played extremely well. That pass was an A+ pass. And again, that's what's having me sleep easy.
Yeah, I will just say that a lot of times when a backup quarterback is thrust in the middle of a game, they get an extra little boost from it. The unexpectedness, the suddenness.
Yep.
They don't think anymore, and their just instincts take over.
Yep.
Sometimes when you have a full week to prepare now, how do you deal with that? How do you deal with the expectation now that you're starting? So yeah, we'll get into all that. It's so fascinating. So many different layers to get into this. But what Taven showed was a looseness, was a readiness to take the reins, was a readiness to, at least in a stopgap position, they didn't just hand off the ball. They ran their offense. And that's a hell of a compliment to a young kid. And yeah, it has to imbibe you with a little bit of confidence going into the next couple of weeks.
Yep. All right. Well, let's get into our stock ups. We're not going to do stock downs. I'll make the executive decision. 56-7 big noon butt kicking. There is no need for any stock downs. Do you have a stock up that isn't Taven Jackson?
Yeah, I had two names written down, and they were Terry Jones Jr., which we talked about a little bit earlier. The way that they involved him in the blitz game, where he essentially became a free rusher off the edge in so many passing downs, Dylan Raiola had no idea what to do. There were so many times where he was even starting to get into his progression, and all of a sudden he sees 12 flashing in front of him, and he all of a sudden is just like scramble, live or die kind of mode at that point. What he was able to do, really flashing, broke the confidence, really gave them an element and a wrinkle that they hadn't seen before. And as a freshman quarterback on the road, when you see something for the first time that you hadn't prepared for, you get that little poo-poo down the leg feeling, and that's what we saw. So I thought Terry Jones Jr. had a phenomenal game. Didn't necessarily have the tackles, didn't have the stats, but he did have the big sack. And then and the other name I had written down was Jalen Walker. I think there was some concerns about his health going into the game, and hot damn, I mean, he is a two-way player. I don't mean that by offense and defense. I mean that from a run and a pass standpoint. The way he is able, and we talk about Aiden Fisher being a guy who can read and react, fill a gap in a run scheme. Jalen Walker was the guy who was doing that last week on Saturday. He was super effective in the run game, and he had just enough pass coverage skills and blitz skills to cause some problems in that area as well. So really him being a 3-down linebacker, again, just gives so many different pieces you can play with as a defense to have answers for different teams. So the Terry Jones Jr., again, we anticipated him being involved in the games before the season started. He hadn't really been so much.
No, so I got his stats right in front of me. He played a significant amount in the Western Illinois game and played sparingly in Charlotte, but he had not played in a Big Ten game yet. And yet he goes ahead. And again, in my opinion, I think he was the third best defender. I think Aiden and Kamara, probably 1 and 2 for me, but then probably Jalen Walker and Terry Jones fighting for that third spot. And Terry Jones is an experienced guy, 237 tackles, couple interceptions, couple fumbles, 3-year starter at Old Dominion. Just shows how deep this team can be and a next man up mentality. Because again, I mean, Terry Jones hadn't got any run in a month. In a month, he hadn't gotten any run. Yet he stands up and he's one of the best players on that side of the field.
They put him in a situation where he knew he could succeed. There is nothing more you can ask from a coach than to put your players in a position to maximize their talents. And that's exactly what they did with this guy. Literally coming off the bench cold to be one of the most pivotal players in your game plan. I mean, that's a hell of a team you guys have assembled now.
Yeah, I mean, I think the entire secondary I thought was just really, really good. Pons was near lockdown. Amari Farrell put up stats. Ashbury, obviously the big play. Bryson Bonds made a couple run stops that I thought looked really, really good. And then, Jameer Johnson.
He should have had a fumble
Harding.
recovery too. Sorry.
Yeah.
The Bryson Bonds, that ball was out.
Yep.
Isn't he the one who came out with that? There was like a butt that was about to hit the ground and he was ripping at it. anyways, whatever.
Magnum Farrar got a fumble recovery.
Mm-hmm.
No,
this is the one they called down, but they should have they should have reviewed but yeah, anyways.
Yeah. And then I also want to, all we heard about in leading up to this was how Nebraska got after the quarterback, how they were one of the best front sevens, how they got after the quarterback. The offensive line gave up 1 sack.
They did have some pressures, but yeah, none of them. It was, I proclaim the black shirts being back, and I mean, 56.
Well, not just you. Nick Saban picked him to win. Urban Meyer talked very loudly about their defense. Will Compton.
I'll say Will Compton was the guy. He was the birdie in my ear. Yeah.
Portnoy picked Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, again, a lot of people were saying the black shirts were back. Yet again, man, I just can't speak enough about the offensive line and the work Bob Bostad did, because, I mean, there's not, if we combined all the stars together from the Nebraska defensive line compared to the Indiana offensive line, I'm not saying it's 2-1, but there's a pedigree difference, but coaching matters, Seth.
No, usually in these games, there's not a lot of dead time for the commentators just make up some random stories. And even rarer is it because are they then, talking about IU, because IU's the team blowing out the other team. They had to do a lot of filler this game, and they went in depth about Cignetti's coordinators and his different position team coaches. And Bob got a lot of love on that breakdown. They had pictures of him. They're like, yeah, he was a Wisconsin guy. He came over, he bill him as a guy, like all this stuff. And he was the one retained coach. And then they, of course, went into, and their offensive line is great now. And, so it was really nice to hear those guys, the strength and conditioning coach, all those guys that they've talked about, Brian Haynes, just talking about how they've been with them. And those are his guys. So it's really nice to be able to hear a bunch of that fluff, all those filler pieces that they're like, oh, we'll probably never need this for an IU game. They'll never be in a blowout that I'll have to give 15 minutes of filler on the coaches. Well, they did it. They went to the well. Week 7, Nebraska, big noon kickoff. Gus Johnson talking about Bob Bostad.
Gus was in his bag.
Oh, he was huffing something. He kept trying to make it a game. He kept he was pulling out all the tricks. I felt bad for him a couple times.
Did not work. All right, let's talk about the ultimate stock up. Taven Jackson. I'll admit, I don't want to say I buried the kid, but I wasn't thinking of him as the 2025 starter, right? I kind of wanted to see what you had in Tyler Cherry as a backup, and now Taven comes in. And again, I don't think he had the lowest stock, but at least for me, I give him a ton of credit for sticking around. I was shocked to see he actually did stick around.
Mm-hmm.
Give a ton of credit to Tino Sinceri for the work he's done in that quarterback room. Give a ton of credit to the offensive line. But at the end of the day, it was Taven making the plays.
Mm-hmm.
It was Taven taking the snaps. It was Taven making the throws. And again, you don't know how long Rourke is going to be out. We're not going to talk about it because none of us know. It's pure speculation. But Washington will not have a huge quarterback advantage, and Taven outplayed Raiola. Without a doubt, he outplayed Raiola.
Yep.
And if that isn't stock up, then I don't know what else possibly could be.
Yeah, I don't know how low his stock was. I'd classify it as like a penny stock. It was one of those things you could take a flyer on. But yeah, we had all talked about it, about how Mendoza and Cherry, and you always get excited about these freshmen coming on board. And then when Rourke came on board, it's like, oh well, problem solved. And then you just completely forget about Taven Jackson. And when you talk about next man up, you talk about all these different. Everyone's like, oh yeah, the running back will have to replace. Oh, the offensive guard will have to replace. Okay, nobody anticipates the quarterback, and especially somebody who's as talented mentally, physically as Curtis Rourke, you never want to see him go down. But Taven has put himself in a position where if it's 2 games, it's Washington and Michigan State. If that's what it ends up being, kind of like your odds, don't you? I have to at least tease that a little bit, right?
I'll take him over Will Rogers and Aiden Chillis.
Right?
Definitely Aiden Chillis. Will Rogers definitely battle tested, and I don't know
down,
if that's necessarily
he
a
has some
good
inconsistencies, undersized. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, no. Again, excited to see what Taven does. Ultimately, I mean, this team is going to go as the offensive line and running goes. We can talk up Taven and Rourke all we want, and we have and we will. But that 3-headed monster, borderline 4-headed monster of running backs is just it honestly looks like a Michigan and Ohio State rush attack. Does it not?
Yeah. The only difference is that you rotate them the entire time, whereas at least Michigan last year, now they have Mullings kind of being the primary back, but it was like Corum and Edwards would really just kind of do their thing in the first 3 quarters. And then all of a sudden 235-pound Mullings would come in and just like, everyone's like, oh my God, I'm tired. Oh, now I have to tackle this dude too. Oh God. They have a little bit of that going on, just not quite as specific. But there is those pieces that they can manipulate in place and put to their strengths, which again, hot damn, that was something we lamented so much about CTA is when's he going to put these guys in position to succeed? Every single one of these guys, Zach Horton isn't going to win an athletic competition against most guys. No. They keep putting him in positions to succeed. Oh shit, that's tough. Positions to succeed. And so that's what you got to love about this coaching staff is they're not putting people out there who look in over their head.
Yep. Completely agree. All right. Let's get through a quick promo here, and then we will revisit predictions.
This episode is brought to you by your go-to expert in the Indiana real estate market. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in a home right here in the heart of the Hoosier country, Garrett Lawton with True Blood Real Estate is the agent that you need. He's not just a real estate agent, he's a Hoosier fan just like you. And Garrett knows Indiana inside and out, from Bloomington to Indianapolis and everywhere in between. Plus, his personalized service makes the buying and selling process smooth and stress-free. So if you're ready to make a move, give Garrett a call at 317-410-8851 or visit his website at lawton-realty.com.
All right, prediction time. All of us won, but all of us lost. I technically won because I picked an 11-point win. Seth, you technically lost because you picked the smallest margin of victory. But we all had a win. And nobody saw this coming.
No.
Vegas didn't see this coming. Obviously, all big noon, college game day. Nobody saw this coming. So instead of calling us all losers, I'm going to call us all winners.
Yeah.
Me, the most winner. I am the most winning of the winners, and I keep my streak alive. My IU betting streak did end, though, because I took Rourke to go for 225 and 2 touchdowns, and then he only got, 189?
Mm-hmm.
In the first half. He would have cleared it. But I lost my first IU bet the entire year. Luckily, I made an absolutely huge bet on IU minus 6.5. So, avoided disaster.
Well, congratulations to you, Brandon. I'm happy for you. Take your win and, yeah.
Parade around a little
far
more.
off. That was awful. I mean, I think we were that was such an unexpected result. I think when we talked about this offline, we thought if it was going to be a blowout, it would be like a 31-6 blowout.
Correct.
Kind
Especially
of
because I have both defenses.
Right. But I don't think any of us expected 63 points to be scored. I think that's where we were. Oof.
Not at all. All right. Let's do a quick around the Big Ten before we get to randos. And then your sack, and then we'll get out of here. Any comments on Purdue? 35-0 shutout.
Again, I am undefeated for Purdue. They have won me every single bet. They are the easiest team to predict in the Big Ten right now. So
What
while
are
they
your
are
thoughts on
losing,
Max Brown after being pretty high on him?
well, I don't think anybody was going to do well against Oregon. So I don't know. And again, Ryan Waters coming from Illinois. I think Illinois was more of an aberration. I like Max Brown. I think, I don't know, man. Stop asking me questions like this. It sucks no matter what. They're going to go 1-11. Okay, fine. I said it out loud. Are you happy now?
I am. We may have to isolate that clip. Wisconsin just beats the hell out of Northwestern. Northwestern, they're done. Right?
Yeah,
they're done.
They'll have one more. They'll have one more random flare up where they'll win a game. You're like, holy, it might be Illinois. Who knows? But they'll win one more. But yeah.
Speaking of done, Rutgers done. Losing to UCLA done.
Which we thought was done. We thought UCLA quit.
Yeah. I think the second most surprising, Illinois dominates Michigan.
Oh, I didn't think that was surprising at all. That one won me a lot of money. I ended up I had a change of heart after we recorded, I think on, what was it, Wednesday of last week. And I just go, wait, Michigan sucks. And I ended up putting, I think, at plus 120 on Illinois. Nice. Wasn't the biggest win of the week, but it was a nice one.
A nice one, yeah. USC is there. They weren't ready for the Big Ten.
Oh God,
Maryland's not good.
They can't win a close game.
Billy Edwards throws for what, 500?
Oh my God, that was
the
awful.
USC defense. The USC defense is so bad. And then Iowa isn't as good as we thought.
No.
I'm still not worried about Michigan State. No. I'm not worried about Michigan State.
No, they're a little better than we thought, but they're still not. I think it says more about Iowa than it does about Michigan State.
Completely agree. All right, let's jump to randos here. First one has nothing to do with the game, but I was a little disappointed in the Barstool pregame show. 30 minutes. Does that surprise you at all? I don't watch the Barstool show, but a 30-minute show, does that even make a trip worth it?
Oh, I don't think so at all. I think I mean, you know my thoughts on Barstool. I think it's an absolute joke. It's a JV squad. I want somebody to take down ESPN so badly, but these guys aren't it. It's a JV program, and to only spend half an hour just shows how unserious they are with their business model. You know, he'd rather spend more time at Mother Bears and Knicks than he would, actually giving a shit. So yeah. I don't know. I just think he's a bored billionaire who just wants shit to do, and people are going to keep giving him attention. And so this feels like, oh, you get half an hour of my time. Good for you.
Yeah.
Aren't you lucky?
It was weak. It was weak. Did you go to Big Noon for Cincinnati? You didn't go to the Cincinnati game, did you?
Not that year. I went to the one at Cincinnati that was, there was nothing really there.
Big Noon surprised me. They did a really, really good job. They had this hype man that was hilarious during commercial breaks. They threw out a lot of swag. They had multiple camera, like the camera production was so impressive.
Prepare to be disappointed next week.
With game day, really?
I've never been impressed by their production at all. I mean, it's just...
McAfee's going to be ridiculous.
Right. He'll do something dumb like he always does. He'll eat a corn cob raw or something. He'll do something. He's got to be a dumb dick in some way, but yeah, it'll be okay.
So yeah, I came away impressed with Big Noon.
Mm-hmm.
But that'll be interesting for game day. That will be interesting.
Having them back to back will be. I can't wait to hear your feedback on that.
For sure. Did you hear the internet rumors no, your wife and father-in-law were there, right?
Mm-hmm.
They ran out of beer.
Yeah.
The stadium ran out of beer.
I feel like crazy. This happened last year for like the one game that people showed up for. Same thing happened. It's, I I don't know. I don't want to get into this. Let's continue to be positive, but the athletic department continues to be woefully underprepared for any kind of customer service expectations.
Yeah. 2 questions about the team. Can we put the schedule talk to bed? It doesn't matter who IU plays. The schedule talk is now no longer a conversation piece.
Right. And the whole
Right.
dick move is, well, all the Nebraska fans saying, well, you haven't played anybody. And now the obvious answer is, well, we still haven't played anybody.
Yeah.
So what? What now?
Yep. And the fan stuff can go away.
Oh,
right?
God. Why that guy isn't shoving a corn cob up his own ass is beyond me. I was engagement farming. Screw off, pussy. Oh, shit.
Hey, this isn't a Tom Allen show anymore. You think Sig cares what we say? Sig doesn't care what we say. Last but not least, IU season, true or false? Regardless how IU season ends up, it's already a success.
Absolutely, undoubtedly.
Because I've seen the online discourse saying like, well, now you have to make the play, or now you have to make the Big Ten championship.
No. People are absolutely ridiculous. What Sig has done so far, avalanche momentum, blah, 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 rinse, repeat. Just play what we said last week if you need to hear it again. He has put everything in a position to maximize what this team has on the field. The only problem is the athletic department is about 2 to 3 years behind. They have all these promises, all these, we're going to do is but it's like, oh shit, he started winning too soon. So now we're running out of beer. We still have an echoey sound system. We have like whatever. They'll eventually be fixed. And the good news is if he wins, it'll force their hand and the funding will be there. And all those problems that Dolson likes to talk about, we can't do this because of that. We can't. Nobody cares enough to do this. Well, now all of those excuses go immediately out the window, and he has to actually start paying attention to football now and can't just do 365 days of men's basketball focus. Mm-hmm. Or maybe he'll just hire somebody to actually, run the football program.
Preach. All right. Anything in your sack?
I had a couple things. Dan Lanning and Kurt Cignetti are the class of the Big Ten coaches. I think everybody else has major deficiencies.
It's not Ryan Day or James Franklin.
No. I was doing I ran through all 18 coaches and I was like, would the SEC want this guy? Dan Lanning, absolutely. They would take him in a heartbeat. Could Ryan Day end up at Arkansas, Vanderbilt, Mississippi State? Sure. Are they considering him at Georgia and Alabama? Tennessee? No. Schiano's not
somewhere. Bragg is smiling hearing this Ryan Day slander.
Franklin, he came from Vanderbilt. I think somebody like Texas A&M would take a chance on him. But again, I don't think Alabama, Georgia, the class of the conference is really going after him. Purdue, oh shit, nothing's happening there. Sharon Moore's not going anywhere. Jonathan Smith is wildly meh. Kirk Ferentz is going to retire at the end of this year. And if not, he's missing a terrible opportunity to
What about what Luke Fickell's doing at Wisconsin this season?
Who?
Luke Fickell. Wisconsin.
I don't know her. No, he's desperately waiting for the Ohio State job to open back up. I mean, we've joked about this for about 4 years now. Is every single job he has taken has been a circuitous route to eventually try to get back to Columbus. So I just don't see him having any.
Yeah. We don't have to talk about the clown in Minnesota.
Else either.
We don't need to talk about the clown in Minnesota. No. We don't need to talk about
Matt Rule. Where's he going? Where is he going?
Probably to I don't know, Temple.
Right. So yeah, that's the Lincoln Riley,
Schiano, Riley,
whatever buzz Riley had is completely worn off. Loxley isn't going anywhere.
Foster, he'll be gone in 2 years.
Jed Fish. I just don't get it, but he might be okay, but I just don't see any SEC team going after him.
No.
So, the Big Ten used to be a bastion of like really, really good coaching and really, really good quarterback play. And what a hell of a year for Indiana to kind of blossom. And this was my
Perfect storm.
Yeah,
Perfect storm.
my sack is the coaches are down, the quarterbacks are down, and now all of a sudden Curt Cignetti and Curtis Rourke coming off the plains, and all of a sudden Indiana's a viable team again. And so,
and in a transfer portal era, you can build your program fast.
Yes.
This is not 20, 25 years ago where you need to stack 2, 3, 4 classes.
Mm-hmm.
That's not needed anymore. So in a talent vacuum, it's possible for these meteoric rises. It's also possible for meteoric falls.
Right.
Because if there's a mass exodus and you hire the wrong guy, I mean, IU kind of saw it.
Yeah.
Right. More with the extension than the hire. But.
Right. And the other thing we've talked about, and Bragg told me to shut up about this in the text, is JMU is still a pretty decent program. And Curt Cignetti's, his connections run deep. I wouldn't be surprised if 4 to 6 more players come next year from JMU to IU, because they see what the players who have come already have done. And it really creates a blueprint for them and says, well, hot damn, I can go from JMU to IU, and then maybe I have a shot at the pros. Maybe I have a shot at the college playoffs. Maybe I have a shot at the Big Ten championship. That's a hell of a success story that you can then pitch to a lot of kids, not just at JMU, but in the Midwest, in the Southeast, in the DMV area, all those places where he's done a lot of recruiting. All of a sudden, the pitch makes a hell of a lot of sense. Why am I going to Bloomington? Well, Google me. I win.
I can't think of a better way to end a podcast. Hoosier Happy Hour. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being on this ride. We've certainly had rides that haven't been a tenth of this fun. I hope you're having fun. I'm having fun. Seth, you have been in a great sport considering the complete opposite situation.
The lack of fun. Yeah.
So cheers, everyone. Go IU. We'll be back in a few days to preview Washington. Until next time. Bye, everybody.
Cheers.